Good morning. This is Anna Maria Manalo for the Sinister Archives, and once again I am focusing on Asia for another true ghost story. This one takes place in a rural town, a university town, about 2.5 hours south of Manila. It is called The Demon and a Mother. About 200 miles south of Manila, a small university town sits at the edge of a large mountain on the island of Luzon in the Philippines. This town, which will remain unnamed to protect it from curiosity seekers who might deter future students from applying, has approximately 1,500 inhabitants. More a village than a town, it hosts the most abundant areas of local plant and wildlife. Surrounded by farms and tropical forest, the college is a rice research area, a school of agriculture, and a training ground for veterinary medicine. The college itself is old, established like the village that it sits on. The campus, a site of massacres in World War II, when the Japanese infiltrated the village and plundered the homes. Just steps from the fringes of the dormitories lies the subrural homes built for the professors and employees of the university. One of these neighborhoods sits at the crossroads of what was the site of a major massacre that butchered the villagers in the dead of night as they fled from their homes. One of these houses, which sit on a corner, is a continual witness to the ghosts and entities that haunt the village by night. As the story unfolds, the reader may come to the conclusion, in light of the involvement of the Holy Bible in this particular event, that it may actually be a demon that came to visit upon this house. So here's the story. Deeply religious as a Roman Catholic and devoted to the Holy Mother, this woman, who I will call Sandy, was married for several years and had 4 children. As the story goes, she developed a heart condition early in her 50s upon her husband's sudden departure. As the chaos in the home ensued with his choice to leave the otherwise happy family, Sandy's health suffered and progressed to a heart condition. As her illness progressed, she became more devout, reportedly kind to a flaw and generous beyond anyone's belief. She made herself close to the Most Holy Virgin Mary. She donated her time to the church and was immensely devoted to her children. And she was seen as a very benign, open, and loving person among relatives, friends, and the community that she lived in. The family in particular found her very supportive, including her 4 grown children. And at the time of this particular encounter, none of them were home and had no idea what was to visit on this house one weekend night. Sandy elected to stay home more often than not these days because she had grown more breathless with each passing day. And on this particular night, it was well past 9 p.m. She was alone in the house and decided to sit in the family room adjacent to the living room to watch a movie. Her rosary and Bible sat on the coffee table beside her, and as she turned down the volume on the TV set, she sensed something or someone peering into the living room window a few yards from the family room. She felt a cold chill issue from the window. She turned to glance towards the living room and the window beyond, and saw something dark, like night, glaring back at her. It was actually sitting on the living room sofa inside the house. It was a being the size of a man, with horns and red eyes, that glared at her so hateful and malevolent that Sandy instantly stood up in horror and disbelief. Moving away from the family room, Sandy grabbed her rosary as the being stood and approached her in pursuit. On her way out of the room, she grabbed the Bible on the coffee table and hurled it at the being, and then she turned to run. It appeared that the being became furious. Undeterred by the Bible, it flew towards the family room, caught the Bible, and tore the book in half, scattering the pages. Sandy, now breathless from this sudden stress, made for her bedroom in the back of the house, where there was a cross on the wall. She ran past the dining room on her way there, then the kitchen, as the being behind her noiselessly pursued her. She reached the bedroom, slammed the door, clutching her rosary, praying in earnest. Outside, her 2 sons had just arrived, just in time to see the being chasing their mother into the dining room. They entered through the courtyard door and confronted the being as it stood and stopped at their mother's bedroom door. Rick and Mike, both aliases, yelled at the being to leave, which they reported as an amorphous black mass with red glaring eyes, with a suggestion of horns on its head. It fled as Mike chased it, back to the living room and through the same window where Sandy had first sensed it. When the boys checked their mother, they found her clutching her rosary, sitting on the edge of the bed, and they looked up at the cross on the headboard. They felt the being had left, not because of them, but because Sandy had begun to pray. She told him later on she sensed a gentle presence in the room that seemed to be protecting her. That being never returned. That is my story for today. If you like stories of this nature, you will find this story in Portal, my first book. The title, available on Amazon, is Portal, A Lifetime of Paranormal Experiences. You can download it on Kindle or purchase the paperback. Thank you for listening. This is Anna Maria Manalo for the Sinister Archives. Follow me on my website if you wish for additional episodes on a weekly basis every Saturday morning. It is downloaded and you can follow or subscribe to storyartisan.wordpress.com. Thank you and have a great day.